For our ancestors, every day began with one question. What can we eat before something else eats us? There were no farms, no stores, and no refrigerators. Food was never guaranteed in this landscape.
The search started early because the best food disappeared quickly, claimed by birds or other animals. Wild fruits were among the safest and most valuable foods. Sweet, juicy, and full of energy. Figs, wild grapes, and seasonal fruits became precious treasures whenever they were found in nature. Competition was fierce. Monkeys and birds wanted the exact same meal as the early humans. Sometimes an entire day's search ended with empty branches and hungry stomachs for everyone involved.
When fruit was scarce, ancient humans turned to the ground itself for survival and nourishment. Hidden beneath the soil were roots and tubers packed with valuable carbohydrates for the hungry group. Without fire, these underground foods were tough, fibrous, and surprisingly difficult for them to eat. Ancient humans probably spent hours every day simply chewing their food to process it adequately. Their larger teeth and stronger jaws helped process foods that most people today could barely bite. Leaves, shoots, and tender stems added important vitamins to their daily diet in the wild. Knowing which plants were safe could mean the difference between survival and death for the whole family. This knowledge was not written down. It was passed from generation to generation by careful observation. Hard nuts offered rich fats and protein, but only if they could be opened by the tribe.
Simple stone tools became nature's first nutcrackers, allowing them to access the nutrition hidden inside the shells. Even tiny seeds were worth gathering. Every single calorie mattered in their prehistoric life of constant movement. One of the most reliable meals did not grow on trees at all in this environment.
Inside lived thousands of termites, small but packed with essential protein and healthy fats for survival. To modern eyes, it may seem strange, but insects were an incredibly nutritious food source for them.
Ants, beetle larvae, and grubs were all valuable additions to an ancient, necessary, and varied menu.
The morning's search was only beginning. The next meal might be hidden in the trees.
Birds often revealed hidden food. Where birds gathered, fruit, insects, or even eggs were never far away.
Climbing trees was dangerous, but the reward could be a nest filled with fresh, protein-rich eggs. Raw bird eggs were rich in protein and healthy fats, making them one of nature's perfect survival foods. There was no reason to save food. Without containers, it had to be eaten quickly or lost forever. Every climb came with risks. One slip or one angry parent bird could end the hunt quite instantly. When food on land became scarce, ancient humans turned to rivers and streams for their next catch. Catching fish required patience, quick reflexes, and perfect timing from the hunter in the water. Even a tiny fish provided valuable protein for an entire family struggling to find enough to eat. Without fire, fish was eaten raw, bones, skin, and all, as they had no other way to cook. Shellfish, mussels, and freshwater clams were slow-moving meals that could not escape the hungry foragers. Splashing mud, simple stones opened tough shells, revealing the soft, nutritious meat inside that they needed to survive. Frogs, turtles, and small reptiles were also valuable sources of food when larger game was nowhere to be found. Croaking of frogs. Quick hands often meant the difference between eating tonight or going hungry for the whole group. Small mammals offered much more meat, but catching them was far more difficult for the ancient group. Ancient humans learned that teamwork greatly improved their chances of success in capturing fast prey. Most hunts ended in failure. Wild animals were fast, alert, and difficult to surprise in their own habitat.
Every failed hunt burned precious energy that could not easily be replaced in their harsh world.
Sometimes the sky itself pointed toward an unexpected opportunity for food in the savanna.
Where vultures gathered, death and food were usually waiting below for the observant scavenger.
Predators rarely finished every bite. They often left behind valuable meat for other scavengers to find. But stealing leftovers demanded courage. Predators could return at any moment, putting them in grave danger.
Simple stone tools allowed early humans to remove meat much faster than bare hands ever could. Inside the bones was rich, fatty marrow, one of the most nutritious foods available to them. Bone marrow supplied enormous amounts of energy, helping ancient humans survive harsh seasons in the wild. The feast never lasted long. Soon the true owners returned, and it was time to run once again. As daylight faded, the search for food became urgent. Darkness belonged to the predators in the savanna. Today's meal was a mixture of berries, roots, insects, eggs, fish, and scraps of raw meat. There were no plates, no tables, and no recipes. Nature decided what was on the menu tonight. Soft chewing sounds are... Raw food demanded powerful jaws. Every meal required long, exhausting chewing for their survival and health. Years of grinding hard plants and raw meat slowly wore their teeth down over their lifetime. Food became scarce, and hunting was dangerous. Not every plant was safe. One poisonous bite could end a life within hours in the wild. Rotting meat carried dangerous bacteria and parasites. Choosing the wrong meal could be deadly for them all. Rotting meat carried dangerous bacteria and parasites. Choosing the wrong meal could be deadly for them all.
Even after the meat was gone, bones still contained precious marrow worth fighting for in the wild.
This calorie-rich food helped fuel one of the most energy-hungry organs in the body, the human brain.
Clean water was just as important as food, although finding safe water was never guaranteed for them.
The seasons constantly changed what people could eat. Rain brought abundance, while drought brought hunger to all. During hard times, ancient humans became less picky. Almost anything edible was worth trying to consume for life. Cooperation became one of humanity's greatest survival tools long before civilization as we know it existed today. Knowledge was as valuable as food itself. Every lesson increased the next generation's chance of survival and health.
Young members of the group learned by watching, practicing, and sometimes making dangerous mistakes in the wild.
A successful meal meant more than a full stomach. It meant another day of life in the wild. Night reminded everyone that humans were not the rulers of this world. They were simply another animal. Their menu was surprisingly diverse, but every meal came with effort, danger, and uncertainty for them all.
Today, cooking feels ordinary. Back then, it was still a discovery waiting to change human history forever.
One day, nature itself revealed something extraordinary, a force that could transform their food and life forever. At first, fire was terrifying to them, but curiosity slowly began to overcome their fear of it. They had no idea that this glowing mystery would completely reshape human evolution in the long run. Cooking would make food safer, softer, and far easier to digest, changing their life forever. Before fire, every meal was a struggle. But the discovery of fire changed their story of humanity.